Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the 232nd session of the online Optom Learning Series, OOLS. And for today's session, we have with us Dr. Gilbert Nacouzi. Dr. Gilbert is an optometrist of over 2 decades of experience in the field. He's also completed his MBA in healthcare management and a doctoral degree in business administration as well. He did his doctor's degree, he was telling me, because he was finding hard and not able to find some answers in terms of entrepreneurship. So that made him to further his education and complete his doctoral degree. He is skilled in negotiation, budgeting, business research, and also certified in disruptive innovations and product development. He's joining us all the way from Lebanon. And he has also developed a portal where he writes blogs and discusses about entrepreneurship, which is known as the Optical Forum Weblog. So if you're interested to learn more about business, entrepreneurships, administration in business, I think that's the place to visit. So welcome, Dr. Gilbert, onto our platform. Thank you for spending this Sunday afternoon with us. And let me, just leave the screen time to you, please.
Okay. Well, thank you, Fakhruddin, for the introduction. I have to admit that I am deeply honored to be able to present to the OOLS audience and bring some more honor to the sponsors, the organizers, and everyone who helped this webinar take place, including our dear and esteemed audience. Now, it is always enjoyable before I start diving in a topic to get to know each other and learn more about the audience, especially since today's topic is a little bit unconventional on the platform and is not clinical optometry. And today's topic is more about the business side of optometry. And I know that not all of you are in the optometry and in the business at the same level. But for those who were a little bit among us in the audience, let's say, who might lean toward risk aversion and who resist change and have fewer instances in seizing opportunities. And those people actually will be undoubtedly encouraged during the presentation to read more about stories of entrepreneurship and business and about the execution of ideas in the entrepreneurship world. They will certainly seek help from mentors in business, and they are recommended to seek guidance and perhaps embrace and seek opportunities to learn and grow. And for the majority of the audience who tend to be more comfortable and are more likely to be high in risk-taking behavior and adaptability to change, and they seem to have a big experience seizing opportunities. I encourage you during this presentation to embrace innovation and also take calculated risks, and certainly foster a proactive mindset, seeking opportunities for growth, cultivate resilience to overcome the challenges and stay focused on long-term goals while remaining agile and adaptable to seize new opportunities in different ways. Now, the moment I received the invitation actually from Fakhruddin to give a webinar, another salient topic came to my mind, and it describes relevant points about the OOLS platform. And that subject was actually about social capital and not about human capital. And that is because of the relevant and tremendous success of the platform of OOLS in a considerably short period of time, which is based on social capital. It is the power of the network, the power of the relationships within the network that are perfectly mobilized for the good of everyone and motivating everyone in the eye care community to contribute and participate. Now, both concepts are measures of productivity in every organization. And with the rapid change of our environment during the past few years, we have seen that they were both affected by a series of events during the past 5 years, starting with the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on the workplace, followed by the Great Resignation, the rapid rise in the adoption of generative AI with ChatGPT, and the labor recovery afterward, which we've seen it recover recently. But sometimes, like everything in life, things happen. And even though we plan in a deliberate way and strategize events, other events emerge and transform our strategy and sometimes lead us to completely abandon that strategy. And this applies to small decisions in our life as well as decisions of major importance, like what once happened to me more than a decade ago when I decided to go all over again to university and become a doctorate student in business administration. And I believed it then, and I believe it now, that decisions like this have always impacted the development of every industry and the optometry profession in particular, right from its inception. And reflecting on that event in 2009, while in New York City, attending the Vision Expo East, after a stop at the public library inside Stephen Schwarzman's building, I was actually inspired by the depiction of Prometheus at the ceiling of the rotunda bringing fire to humans, which symbolizes knowledge. So I went after that to have a cup of coffee at Starbucks at Times Square, and I pondered the path I'd taken since completing my optometry degree in 2001 and starting my own business. And despite experiencing both successes and setbacks during these 8 years in my business as a practice owner, I grappled with inquiries and questions concerning how wealth is created and the challenges of maintaining and sustaining success, for instance. But later, I found myself invigorated by the extensive array of knowledge in the literature about these two specific subjects. And delving into various fields, I discovered that unlike specialties like law and politics, science actually serves as the catalyst for wealth creation and societal benefit. And as evidenced by historical milestones such as the transformative impact of the steam power engine in the 1800s, the internal combustion engine, and the commoditization of households in the 1900s, and the internet in the 21st century. Nonetheless, the emergence of financial speculators and financial speculation each time alongside those innovation posed a lot of threat and a lot of risks, necessitating a commitment to continuous learning, continuous growth, grounded in scientific progress, innovation, and ingenuity, notwithstanding potential adversities. And among those adversities, if we can call them, are dilemmas that we face in our brains and our thinking, and they are affected by our environment about the way we live, about the way we think, and about the way we make decisions, from one side as optometrists, and from the other side as practice owners and business owners interested in developing and growing the business. And while optometrists and healthcare providers, we are trained to think in a logical and linear way. Whereas in business and entrepreneurship, we encourage critical thinking in a rather nonlinear way. Or that was what I used to believe, because I graduated with a bachelor degree in optometry, where we don't practice full scope optometry. But at the same time, later I found out that this was also similar even in the United States, where optometrists practice full scope optometry. And you can even read that in a 2011 report from the Association of Schools and Colleges of Optometry. It is called the Attributes of Students Graduating from Schools and Colleges of Optometry. And it says that it wasn't until the year 2000 that new graduates were recommended to acquire critical thinking skills needed to assess the patient's visual and physical status. And from that date, critical thinking as related to clinical decision-making became a specific outcome of the educational process. But also at the same time, it recommends that the ability to efficiently leverage resources, including staff, interdisciplinary collaboration, and management systems in order to maintain high-quality patient care standards while also embracing diversity, collaboration with all stakeholders in the practice, and delivering healthcare services in a comprehensive way. So you start at this period in history to notice how the organizational behavior has started to take place and become the norm in the eye care industry at large. And critical thinking, paramount in navigating life and work challenges, differs from logical thinking, but is increasingly becoming vital in education and professional settings almost everywhere in the academia. And despite its importance, studies on fostering critical thinking in the college or among college students, particularly in optometry, from the year 2000 onward, it remains scarce. And critical thinking, nonlinear and creative, contrasts logical thinking's linear approach. And while logical reasoning results are consistent over and over again, critical thinking offers diverse solutions. It offers different perspectives and leading opinions that adapt to varied contexts. And optometry's focus on logical thinking over critical thinking differs from other fields like the field of business administration and the field of sociology and entrepreneurship. Nevertheless, anyone familiar with the newly released scope of practice with by the World Council of Optometry would notice the increasing importance of the role of public health in the industry of the eye care and the optometry. So now, for me, I can say that after all these years of studying business, that as an optometrist by trade and a doctor in business administration, I am formed to think in a linear way, but over time I started to think differently, almost like on a continuum between linear and non-linear way. And this was mainly what led me to choosing this particular subject. It's the mindset and the way I think. And maybe because this is a skill acquired, so I preferred the human capital and not the other subject on social capital. First, because it's a hot topic due to the great resignation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which has recently recovered, as well as the adoption of the generative AI that is almost everywhere reshaping productivity in the workplace. And second, it is because by doing so, I'll not just find a way to or give you a prerequisite subject, but surely I will leave you questioning about social capital as well. And this is something you will be thinking about after the presentation. Now, if anyone has heard about the late Professor Clayton Christensen from Harvard Business School, he used to say that we should always start with great questions. And unless you have a great question in mind, your in-class learning isn't abstract, and it is not applied to your question that you are looking for an answer to. And having a great question helps you see patterns and generate insight more quickly and in a more clear way. So I hope also during this presentation, I can lead you step by step to reach to that concluding situation where you will certainly go to your practice tomorrow morning with new great questions that help you shape the way you learn and the way you enhance your performance in the future. And in that being said, and in considering the organizational workforce as a whole, it is crucial to recognize inside the organizational workforce its central role in the optometry, which includes the human capital and human resources. And the major goal, if you want to say, for both concepts, it is to attract and retain top talents. And as entrepreneurs, you need top talents around you. If you hear, we say always, if you are the smartest person at the table, you are sitting at the wrong table. And almost always, top talents are attracted to practices where they can have a big impact on patients' outcomes. And those practices are going at a higher pace with their products, utilizing the latest technology. And as you will see in the next slides, that despite this fact and the environment that is evolving and continually changing, which is posing a lot of challenges and creating complexity, the fundamentals of top talent attraction, top talent development, and talent acquisition and talent retention remain over the year the same. So you see that not just how difficult it is to attract top talents in a changing world, but finding top talents isn't just about only attracting them. It is also about them, the top talents, meeting essential criteria in your practice, like cultural alignment with the practice's mission, vision, and values and purpose. Also, the top talents' alignment with the stakeholders, their alignment with yourself as an optometrist, and additionally, it is crucial to determine if they will be, or if they are motivated by the practice's technology or the journey, and certainly if they possess the necessary skill set for the role and that they are giving or they will be filling, or to be able, in order to be able to deliver. And even if you are fortunate enough to recruit such category of talents, retaining them poses a greater challenge. It's a significantly great challenge, greater even than attracting them and acquiring them. And the human capital signifies the, if you want, the value or the economic value derived from the employee's skills and experiences. And while human resources oversees and manages employees-related matters, we can think of human capital management as a way to aim to maximizing employee value. And we also can use human resources management to focus on efficient employee management processes. So both components, human capital and human resources, they are both components of the workforce, and they are both vital, and they are essential for successful business strategies. In a way that human capital represents an investment in talent, and human resources ensure effective administration. And even though the purpose of this presentation is not to go into detailing the differences between the human capital and human resources, but just keep in mind and just know that understanding the distinctions and parallels between these two concepts provides valuable insights for businesses, for business leaders, and also among them the optometry leaders. So if you want to be a business leader as an optometrist in the eye care industry, and that does not necessarily mean that you should be part of a huge corporate setting to apply those concepts. Even if you are a solo practitioner You just have to improve your value by acquiring skills. You are certainly increasing the human capital value of you and of the practice. And if you are efficiently practicing and conducting procedures, you are improving the human resources of your practice. Now, I don't know if any of you, I think most of you have heard recently the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, and his team. They are actually waiting and betting when will we see the first $1 billion one-person company, or they call it in Silicon Valley, the solo unicorn. Of course, having generative AI, its enabler. And because of the tremendous leverage that we are seeing that is possible recently with generative AI technology. And speaking about solo entrepreneurs and solo entrepreneurship, if we look back a decade ago, Steve Jobs, Apple founder, had this concept of thinkers, doers that he often spoke about, and the ability of thinkers, doers in driving innovation and change. And drawing inspiration from the great Italian painter Leonardo da Vinci's multidisciplinary approach, Steve Jobs suggests that true innovators merge art and science, theory and practice. And the skill of Leonardo da Vinci doing his own technology of mixing paint and colors with the ability to apply it in the artwork he is creating and he is executing. And this concept underscores that significant contributions arise from those who not only envision, but also actively engage in problem solving, in creating solutions and execution at the same time, while highlighting the synergy between intellectual prowess and practical applications in driving industry evolution, but also in mastering the technology and employing it to our desired and needed ends. Again, if you want to increase the value of the organization, you need to increase human capital by focusing on increasing its individual's skills and mastering, for example, generative AI as an example of a technology is one of the newest skills. And you also need to manage systems for effective employee contribution, and you will have to do it through good and excellent human resources. So your practice can improve the workforce engagement, the ability to improve productivity and success by effectively utilizing human capital and human resources. Now, successful management everywhere involves recognizing each individual's unique strengths and potential, and ensuring an environment conducive to their development and utilization. Now, about understanding human capital, in the eye care entrepreneurship, it encompasses the expertise of optometrists, also other practitioners. If you work in a setting where you have other eye care professionals like ophthalmologists, opticians, and other staff, including technical skills like comprehensive eye exams, contact lens fitting, labs, lens surfacing, dispensing, or any other soft skills like communication and empathy. And managing human capital involves recruitment, training, and fostering a positive culture to deliver quality care. And all of this drive the growth of the practice and increases the patient's satisfaction. And in optometry, and like in any other industry, skills, knowledge, and expertise are vital for the success and to enable innovation. And skills tackle challenges and drive progress in the organization. Knowledge deepens the understanding of industry dynamics, which enables you to make informed decision. And expertise beyond the basic knowledge it helps you navigate complexity with finance. So together, they ensure that your practice is at the edge of the competition. It is efficient. It grows in a steady way, securing relevance in the optometry market and in the industry. Now, every business and every industry faces challenges. And among the common challenges for human capital, we can see that one of them is finding it difficult to acquire and retain talent. And the first challenge is talent acquisition and retention. And it has especially become more salient after the great resignation that we've been experiencing during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Excuse me. Now, workers experienced a positive trend for switching jobs as they were able to receive significantly higher pay increases. And that is in most of the places around the world, despite the rising prices of everyday consumables and commodities like grocery items and like gasoline, etc. And the Great Resignation didn't end until recently, as we saw that the labor market started recovering. And another challenge related to the acquisition and retention of talent is skills development, which is also a human resource issue to try to address the gaps in the skills after the hiring market started improving recently. And most new graduates didn't receive the appropriate hands-on trainings required to fill specific responsibilities in the optometry practice because of their online learning that replaced on-campus learning, and which will eventually also affect your practice's performance. And therefore, some actions in this part of the training are required. And you will also be amazed how difficult it is to also find highly qualified candidates that have to fill highly skilled jobs. So in a way, if you are, or in your practice, you have skills that are going away, you should be able to identify what skills you need in the future to replace them. And the third challenge, which is the most important also, is workforce diversity. And despite all the benefits that workforce diversity brings to the workplace, especially in increasing talent retention and increasing the productivity of the practice by fostering greater innovation, we are often challenged by issues related to communication gaps, cultural barriers, and misunderstanding, as well as other issues like slower decision making. And the biggest challenge also is workplace polarization, which has extremely intensified after the COVID-19 pandemic, or due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And it is about the great digital divide caused by people who want to stay at home and work remotely, and people who want to return to work in office. So also we can think about the another challenge that sometimes could be in some countries, not in all countries, and that could be inadequate resources, like the difficulty to access to funding and the access to education, especially like a country here in Lebanon. It is becoming more and more difficult to access funding and finance. But undoubtedly, there are key areas for improvement, and they include and are rare to restrict, are not just we can use to improve, but also we can use to develop, because some practices don't recruit; they are solo practitioners. But in all cases, those improvements, they can be at the level of the recruitment, So you can put strategies for recruitment. Also, you can put strategies for training programs and strategies for retention. And all the three we will be detailing in the next 3 to 4 slides. Now, staffing in the purpose of attracting top talents is most of the time the number one challenge for optometrists. In order to attract top talent, practices employ several effective strategies. However, the first thing you need to do or to know is ask yourself whether you actually need this role in your practice. Is there any other way you can do the job without it? But then you need to have a clearly defined vision, mission, and purpose and value statement, and be able to clearly articulate the practice's vision and values to resonate with potential candidates. You need to understand and stay informed optometry job market, what trends are affecting the job market. You also have to do tailored recruitment, and those efforts of tailored recruitments, they should be in the purpose of attracting the right talent for the right role and the right position. Also, you need to certainly offer competitive compensation and benefits through attractive salary packages. You need to study the bonuses, the healthcare benefits, and the opportunities for professional development. But also the compensation has to be fair. It has to be competitive, but also more than anything, you should know that people have to feel like they are really contributing to something that is going to have a big impact, and that they in a way understand how making decisions in the or decision making in the practice are being made, and for what reason and why. So you need to utilize proactive recruitment also at the same time. And those strategies can include networking, attending industry events, and posting job offerings at universities. And another way is to always have like talent pooling, for example, for 5-6 months in advance. And this should be done on a continuous process and a continuous way. Certainly, you need to create a positive and supportive work culture that encourages collaboration among team members. It encourages growth and also puts a lot of emphasis on work-life balance. All of this can be presented to the candidate during a simple interview, just like you try to investigate or try to learn about his credentials and experience. But also the interview is very important. It's the most important part of hiring and of the recruitment process, especially if it is part of an open house where you get potential candidates to tour the office, and sometimes they can have them shadow members of your team while they are working or while they are doing certain operations. And this is also a great opportunity to learn more about their personality, about their openness to collaborate and interact with other people in the team setting and in the environment where you work. So one example is that, for example, if you regularly post or share insights and recommendations on social media, you should know if your staff likes to be involved and likes to engage in sharing and posting on social media or not. And at the end, one very important aspect of good structured recruitment process is that you get to identify if the candidate can adapt or adapts and fits to the practice's culture early on. So it's an advanced step to know if you have the chemistry or the candidate have the same chemistry of the practice. So in pointing to the importance of human culture or organizational culture, the famous management guru Peter Drucker used to say, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So one way or another, like I have already mentioned, during recruitment and in recruitment strategies, you are improving the employer branding and attracting top talents who certainly align with your practice's values and goals, while at the same time fostering a positive and productive work environment. Now, in terms of effective training programs, you should know that training should be an ongoing journey. It is for both new hires and even more importantly, for established and for employees who work already in the practice. It includes diverse methods like online and in-person sessions covering various aspects such as operations, training for new equipment, how to manipulate new equipment and employ them, and new technology. Of course, effective teamwork hinges on attributes like availability, competency, and other attributes like responsiveness, which necessitate thorough training and fostering unity in the team and in the practice. And the core principle is aligning training with the roles at the optometry setting. And this is because you want to create an efficient eye care workforce. And in doing so, planning plays a significant role. Planning allows you to do this, and it involves considering factors like the number of trainees in the practice, the required competences, who is eligible, who is not eligible, and upon what criteria, which suitable institutions should we partner with, and what does the community and what are the eye health needs that we see on a daily basis and we need and aim to fix. And continuous staff development ensures a skilled and adaptable workforce. It promotes innovation. It promotes aligning goal, leading to organization success. And the role of tailored training and tailored programs for optometrists and support staff cater to industry-specific needs. It allows leveraging data, for example, generative AI for enhanced skills and developing new skills, as well as patient care. Here again, in the way you provide effective training programs, leadership plays a major role. And in referring to John Maxwell's first law of leadership, it's called the law of the lid. Leadership ability determines effectiveness. Low leadership capability limits success. High leadership skills enhance performance in the practice. And for this reason, it is crucial that you increase your level of leadership capability in your organization, in the optometry practice, by taking training and development as a personal mission. And it is by applying it to yourself before anyone else in the practice. Now, about the retention strategies, I believe retention strategies address the biggest challenge in human capital. It is even bigger and more difficult than finding and acquiring talents, bigger than the training challenges, and certainly more complex than recruitment. I know we hear it very often, and everyone would say it has become easy to outsource projects or specific work. Crowdsourcing is something new, innovative. There are a lot of entrepreneurs and sidepreneurs out here who are ready to help you in almost every part in your practice, not just the administrative part and the communication part like scheduling, rescheduling, and billing, but also you can outsource whole departments like ophthalmic edging, lab surfacing, optical repairs, specialty contact lenses. We've heard it. And also by doing so, this have a great impact on the bottom line of your business. It increases the return on investment. It increases the internal rate of return of your business, as well as the return on invested capital. Not mentioning the other parts also, like the marketing part, the advertising part, and the expenses and the investment that you are economizing, like social media and so on. But at the end, you will have to be structured around a core activity with a technological enabler that will give you that competitive edge and prepare your practice for growth. And you will have to retain those top talents whose mission aligns with your mission and are ready to deliver in a parallel way. And among those commonly known and practice retention strategies that we hear over and over by managers and by leaders, among them is providing superior service and also value and positive experiences. For example, also we hear often employees engagement initiatives and career development opportunities and so on and so on. But the truth is far beyond that. It is not as easy and not as simple, at least from the employee side and the employer side. And like we used to hear Margaret Thatcher, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, she says, when people are free to choose, they choose freedom. And at the same time, no one likes to have a boss because no boss thinks he is a bad boss. And we also think that everyone wants a good boss. Now, who is the good boss? What are the characteristics of a good boss? Previous generations used to have one career with one or two jobs in their entire life. The new generations have different mentality. They will have more than one career, that's for sure, and sometimes more than 10 jobs in their entire life. And there is, according to the US Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So you can imagine how difficult it has become to retain those top talents. And what drives them to change their jobs very often is not always financial, is not always money, but something else. It could be meaning, it could be purpose, it could be running away from routine, insecurity, instability, or other things. And indeed, a recent article in Monitor on Psychology, the scientific magazine by the American Psychology Association, shows that widespread volatility is strengthening employee resolve to advocate for security, purpose, and well-being on the job. And this clearly shows that people are looking for meaning in their jobs. They want to feel stability. They want to feel secure. They want to have this sense of purpose. And this is something I think almost everyone agrees that generative AI cannot provide yet. A 2023 publication by the World Economic Forum indicates that individuals also face a future of multiple career shifts. experts stress the importance of continuous learning to adapt to rapid employment changes. And the World Economic Forum predicts that 40% of the current core skills will be affected by technology's advancements, like the AI, by the year 2027. And this requires workers to update their skills every 5 years. Now, I'm sure everyone's familiar with Professor Sumantra Ghoshal, who unfortunately passed away at a very young age. But he used to say that individuals don't change fundamentally to become who they are. And you cannot, as leaders and managers, do that in an easy way. Culture is very difficult to change, but what you can do is change the context where they work, and that will motivate them to deliver and stay with the organization. It is called by many managers and leaders the smell of the place. And he used to give the analogy of spring in Fontainebleau in France, where the smell of the forest is energizing and motivating. You want to jump, you want to do everything you like, you are motivated to go out in the forest. Whereas summer in downtown Calcutta is so humid and he feels tired and not motivated to do anything. So this is in a nutshell, but also the quote is very beautiful. Revitalizing people has a lot less to do with changing people and has a lot more to do with changing the context that companies and senior managers create around the people, also called the smell of the place. Now, all organizations are designed to prevent change, and any change or improvement action needs a huge amount of energy and a lot of effort. But what we can do sometimes in the context and changing the smell of the place, you can replace, for example, authority, control, management mentality by a coaching mentality, a mentoring mentality. A good leader is a good listener. You can replace productivity outcomes by human performance, and so on. As a leader, you need to become, it's crucial to become a better listener. You need to understand what the staffs think about, how they are planning their future. You need to guide them in order not to go in a chaotic way. And you have to have plenty of empathy. Remember John Maxwell's law of the lid. And while some employers right now are against the fading concept of lifetime employment and the new trend of new nonlinear career path, we see other employers, they are shifting towards valuing adaptable workers. And some employers now prioritize transferable skills. And as highlighted also in the World Economic Forum report, it is called the Future of Jobs Report 2023, which emphasizes socio-emotional skills like resilience, creativity for success, especially in non-linear careers. So one way to increase retention is through developing a climate of choice. Build a self-regulating system and let the role of leadership be to help people access their willpower. So that brings us to almost our last concept of the presentation, which is generative AI. Now, certainly advancements in generative AI, exemplified by the so-called ChatGPT, hold transformative potential analogous to historical general purpose technologies, or GPTs. If we give some examples of GPTs, we have the steam power engines in the 1900s or 1800s, excuse me. We had the internal combustion engines, electricity, and the internet. And the characteristics of general purpose technologies, GPTs, we found they have a wide industry use, a great potential for improvement, and they induce innovation. And those technologies can affect an entire economy, usually at the level of the national level, as well as at the global level. And while generative AI adoption increases and is massively adopted in almost no time, its economic impact may take time. It is influenced by technological refinements. It is influenced by a lot of capital constraints and intangible capital accumulation. There are still concerns persisting over generative AI's impact on employment. Yet historical precedents suggest potential for broad-based prosperity amid technological disruptions. And generative AI's true impact hinges on its ability to drive demand and augment productivity across sectors, echoing past economic revolutions. At the current time, the widespread adoption of generative AI hasn't led to significant productivity and tangible as well as measurable gains in optometry, echoing historical patterns like Solo's paradox in computing. Now, if anyone has heard about Solo's paradox of computing, the Solo computer paradox, also known as the productivity paradox, is the peculiar observation made in business process analysis that as more investment is made in the information technology, worker productivity may go down instead of going up. And whether you are, I know, skeptical or not about generative AI, there is one thing that AI has been here since more than half a century, and I'm sure it's here to stay. It has a wide adoption, a massive adoption, and even I myself, I use it on a daily basis. Its impact on human capital is very important. However, like I have mentioned in the slide 8, that despite the fact that the environment is continually changing, making a lot of challenges and creating more ambiguity and more complexity, for us, the fundamentals of top talent attraction, talent development, and talent retention remain the same over the years. And at the same time, the challenge with generative AI is the misaligned expectations between employers and between the employees. This is mainly on the impact of the AI reskilling and how we will be reskilling the workforce. And while some workers embrace new roles enabled by artificial intelligence, we see that others struggle with inadequate training opportunities. And there is a pressing need for employers to prioritize reskilling and invest in aligning workers' skills with evolving job demands, especially as the demand for fresh skills is growing more and more. And in balancing technical and soft skills, we have to improve the development. It is essential in order to be able to navigate the generative AI-driven workforce and make an effective transformation. So to ensure fairness and inclusivity in generative AI, you have to treat employees as partners, not as bystanders. You have to work or to offer work flexibility and protect workers. And especially we see it around here in Lebanon, because there is a significant part of workers now coming from from somewhere underserved regions, and the transportation is very expensive. So you have to be flexible enough to offer them work flexibility and allow them to do some responsibilities and some roles and some work from where they are remotely. And of course, you will have to prioritize health and well-being and avoid, whenever possible, burnout. So you have also to drive diversity efforts and listen to the concerns that employees have to in any way prevent inequities. You have to foster a practice culture of learning by providing accessible upskilling opportunities for everyone. Now, again, during this presentation, we've just tried to hit the tip of the iceberg on the topic of human capital. Certainly, going deeper to discover and improve human capital involves leveraging diversity and inclusion in eye care practices, foster an inclusive workplace culture, promoting employee engagement, involving recognition, promoting of internal growth, openness, communication, collaboration, and putting a lot of feedback mechanisms in the practice, which leads to a positive work environment and increased productivity. Always leadership has a big role, so you have to encourage the development of leadership. It is crucial in order to have effective patient care, a good team performance, and organizational success. The communication is very important. You have to communicate the importance of critical thinking, strategic thinking, and good decision making. Always continuously improve in the human capital management. This can lead to enhanced efficiency, also adaptability to change, employment development. It can put you at a competitive advantage compared to other practices around you. And also it can emphasize responsiveness to new industry trends and be always ready to adopt new technologies. In concluding, I want to reflect on two concepts often repeated by Professor Richard Joly on complexity, who is an organizational behavior professor at London Business School. The first concept is Ashby's principle. Now, Roth Ashby is a British psychologist. He introduced a law in the year 1960 concerning the interplay of variety and regulation in biological systems. His proposition states that if the complexity of the environment surpasses a system's capacity, the environment will overpower and eventually dismantle the system. And this principle, widely recognized as the also, if you look at on the internet, the first law of cybernetics, it suggests that to effectively address diverse challenges, one must possess responses as intricate as the problems encountered. So put simply, for us, systems that we develop in our practices and in our optometry practices should possess control mechanisms proportional to or greater than the potential disturbances that we are confronting every day in this changing world and this changing environment, in order to sustain and avoid being crash and burn by the environment. Now, the second concept, which comes directly after developing those complex systems, it's a byproduct, if you want. The second concept over time, the evolving environment adds complexity and requires more intricate strategies and structures to be implemented in your practice. And as our environment becomes more complex, our business strategies becomes even more complex. So this poses another challenge that has been observed across various organizations. But if we look at successful organizations, they maintain a strong organizational confidence. So you have to go into the unknown with confidence. But it is crucial also for the dominance in the sector and in the industry you are operating in. If you look at it, there is the way Professor Joly describes it, there is a continuum and a spectrum of confidence. It starts with overconfidence, which leads to arrogance, while also underconfident organizations, they suffer from learned helplessness, fostering a bystander effect. So striving for a balanced confidence level is essential in today's complex world. So, and if we look at competent organizations, they exhibit a shared purpose. They foster motivation. They are great in developing and bringing productivity. They create an excellent environment for collaboration. Additionally, they encourage challenging conversations among the team and among the different staff members in the society and the organization. So this maintains high feedback cultures. I think with that, I will have some few minutes if someone wants to ask any question. But for me, this is the end of the presentation. I want to thank you, and if anyone would like to be in touch with me or would like to connect, those are my links on this is my email and this is my LinkedIn. They can scan the QR and they are welcome to connect.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Gilbert, for that very intensive and comprehensive talk. I think these topics need somebody to come and talk. You can't learn over reading books. I think the way you explain this is really commendable to make things easier in a way that we can follow, as well as I said, you can't get this information by reading books and papers. So thank you so much for sharing that experience and thoughts with us today.
Thank you so much, Fakhruddin, for the opportunity. And if anyone wants to be more informed or has any question, I'm ready to.
Sure. There were a couple of questions. There were a couple of questions. I think one of it was when you were talking about, these thoughts when it comes to productivity, human capital, and things like that. So somebody would want to know your opinion on how would you probably be able to increase mass productivity. I believe this is talking about a group practice where you have more people together working with you and things like that. So how that can be improved? Any thoughts? And about the solo computing paradox, how can they be useful? Any thoughts on that?
Now, in the term or in the slide, maybe about the generative AI, I've emphasized that the rapid adaptability, the rapid adoption of the AI was significantly important, even faster than the old GPTs, like the steam power engine. Because as I remember, the steam power engine, the adoption of the steam power engine took more than half a century. But here we see the ChatGPT having a great and a mass adoption, which we've never seen before. But we still don't know about the productivity. This is what brought us to Solo's computing paradox. But for us as optometrists, this is I think a very complex and very difficult thing to try to resolve and invest our time in. But certainly with the adoption of the ChatGPT, the first ones who will adopt it will have the like we say the first entry advantage. But also I emphasize that for example, for me, I use the ChatGPT on daily basis as an assistant. If I want, instead of going and looking at Wikipedia, we used to look at Wikipedia, even though we know those are not primary sources. Yeah, but if we want to have a quick general idea about the subject, we look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But we never use it as a reference, or we never cite Wikipedia. And ChatGPT is almost the same thing. It's very useful in knowing what it gives you an idea about the trends in a very fast way.
Right.
It helps you edit some of your emails, so you can check it in a very fast way afterward. So this is what mainly it's all about. And there are a lot of usage in the chatbot. They use it in the websites for those who employ online e-commerce and so on. So they use the artificial intelligence widgets and applications in those domains and this part of the business.
Yeah, right. They are very commonly used in chatbots, and nowadays, business happens on WhatsApp as well. So people do use to increase productivity in terms of, responses rather than a human doing a response. The chat box is doing the response, and probably I think all of us would have encountered this when we are, buying something online or things like that. It's quite easy now to experience that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great operator. If you are trying to change your flight schedule, for example, if you've encountered any of those issues while traveling, you will have a great assistance by AI. And this is not new. This is we've been encountering for more than decades. We've been seeing it, but it is evolving in a rapid way, and it is making more people invest in it. That's the difference. Everyone is adopting it at every level. So, but certainly this is a transformation that we have to go through, and rest assured that the future is bright.
That's right, and every industry is going in that transformation by default. So why does eye care industry lag behind? So I think we should be ready as eye care practitioners to embrace this into our practices.
Yeah, sure. In the terms of human capital, you should be ready to upskill your existing employees, and they should be always updated, and they should be always up to date about what's coming up new. If it's not generative AI today, maybe something else in the future.
That's right. Wonderful. Great. So I think with that, thank you so much, Dr. Gilbert, for that wonderful talk and presentation. I think it is great to have you and share your experience and expertise. The session is recorded, so I think people would watch it later and come back to you for questions. So anyways, you have shared your email and your social media handle, so you probably can expect some questions or some discussions later afterwards.
Yeah, you are welcome. Thanks a lot for having me. It is a great pleasure to be on the platform.
Most welcome. Most welcome. So to the attendees, thank you so much for joining in. Just before that, I would like to remind that tomorrow is the last day for you if you want to register for Euro School, which is happening in India. Euro School is led by Dr. Dadi Fadel, who is an expert in scleral contact lenses. It's a one-day workshop which is going to be held at 2 days, 2 different locations or 2 separate days. So please register if you are interested. The links to the registration will also be shared on the chat in shortly. We do have session planned over the next couple of weeks. We will keep till then. Take care, be safe, and hope to see you during the next session. Bye-bye.